when we were out there, we knew what we were doing. It was cold, it was rough, and I got sick. I just felt my heart rate go 1,000 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden I could barely breathe. Just and even through all this, I've heard so many things, and why didn't he do this,
No doubt you've heard the story and you watched the massive search. It was supposed to be a day on the Gulf. 4 football players set out on a fishing trip in late February 2009. Nick Schuyler, Will Blakely, Corey Smith, and Marquise Cooper. Nick was the only one to come back alive. He was found bobbing in the water 3 days after one of the biggest searches in Coast Guard history.
I don't care if you have a movie, I don't care if you have a book. You can't explain cold. You can't explain scary, you can't explain dark, and the things we went through. So, I don't wish that upon anybody, of course.
Nick has always been a private person, but after the crush of media, he wanted to tell his side of the story as a way to cope. But some people have accused Nick of trying to cash in on the tragedy.
I've turned down so many things as far as money goes that I could have made a quick buck, but it doesn't benefit me or them in any way. Once again, I wrote that book not really for myself, because that wasn't important to me, but for the families, and to set the story straight about their brothers or kids.
Nick admits that Will's father just read the book and is having a hard time with it, seeing the details of those final hours.
The Blakeleys have been very supportive from day one, and and they always have. But they saw it as, look, you need to write a book. You need to get the story out there and then go and do your publicity stuff. And unfortunately, this kind of went the other way around.
As for Corey's family, Nick speaks with his sister from time to time. But it's the relationship with the wife of Marquise, Rebecca, that seems to upset him the most. She moved out of state and won't talk to Nick. The same goes for Marquise's father.
She had said some things where she wanted to distance herself from myself and the media, and I 1,000% understand. That hurt. It's sad, and I hope that one day we can establish some kind of relationship, but I respect that. To hear the things that were said about the guys, though, that's the thing that set me off. Because the things, especially about Will, the things that he did for me out there, when it was just the two of us, that's been one of the main reasons I'm here.
The one situation he dealt with that shook him to the core?
I went swimming one night in the pool. I was going to swim some laps, and it was dark. I didn't think anything of it, and I jumped in that pool, and the waves crashed. I couldn't really see, and I got out. I got sick. And that was just something that I hadn't experienced before, and that was like over a year later.
Nick finds his passion in raising scholarship money through his foundation and promoting boating safety. For the second year in a row, he's hosting a memorial football tournament in honor of his friends. Sometimes he finds himself staring out on the water.
I see it as my friends are still in there, I see it as I am very lucky not to be in there, but at the same time, every time I go out to the water, I'd stare at it for a little while and say thank you guys and love you guys.
They're gone, but never forgotten. Nick Schuyler realizes that the memories held within the Gulf waters will always be there, and the men who perished will always be alive inside him. Melanie Michael, 10 News.